They have no brains. They're stupid. I heard from one of them. He's dead. I can say that I can't go near any man because I'm afraid.
In the new episode of Can't Ask, we are with Yekta. Yekta is a rape victim. Welcome, Yekta.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 21 years old. I live in Balıkesir. I work in a sales department at a company. I'm also a university student.
Did you know your rapist?
More precisely, my rapists. There were 4 of them in total. I didn't know all of them, but one of them was our neighbor's son. When it happened again, his friends got involved too.
How old were you?
I was 9 years old at the time. It happened in 2007, July 3rd.
How did it happen?
There was this neighborhood culture where I grew up. There are some people we call brothers who protect and look after the younger ones. One day, one of them invited me over. He said, "Let's play computer games together." I was only 9 years old, so of course I fell for it. When we were playing, he tied my hands and gagged me. He also tied my shoes together. That's how it started. Then he videotaped it and threatened to tell my family and kill me. Of course, I was scared, so I couldn't say anything to anyone. Sometimes it would happen again, the very next day, sometimes a week later. This went on for about a year.
Did his family know about it?
His family didn't know. As far as I know, nobody knew. I don't think anyone knew except those 4 people and me. Maybe they told some of their friends. Of course, I shared this incident with a few people. But I started telling people about it at least 8 years after the incident.
Where are they now?
I heard from one of them. He's dead. He died because of drug abuse. I don't know about the others at all.
Did your parents realize something was wrong?
I guess they didn't realize. Even if they did, they didn't let me know in any way.
Do they know now?
No, they don't.
Have you thought about going to the police?
I mean, if it happened now, I would definitely go. Of course, you get scared at the age of 9. I couldn't go then. But of course, it dawned on me when I was 16 or 17. I blamed myself for not going.
How much longer were you neighbors?
They don't live on our street now. If I remember correctly, they moved 2 or 3 years ago. That's when they moved away, but we still live in that same house, and sometimes I still think about those incidents.
How did it stop?
I guess they grew cold towards me. They didn't want to talk to me. I wasn't very interested in talking to them anyway. I'm glad that they grew cold. I hope that they are rotting in hell right now.
Do you approve of the opinion that rapists should be executed?
Let me put it this way. I am against killing people. There are different things to be done instead. For example, they can get psychological support. Education can be really beneficial.
Why do you think they did this to you?
They were 17, 18, at most 22 years old, and I think it was just pure horniness.
Did it start with harassment?
No. It started like this, you know. Even when you give candy to a child, he comes to you. First, they made it look like they were looking after me. And then, they reassured themselves and gave me the message that they would not harm me in any way. I tried to do whatever they wanted because I trusted them. I was meeting them wherever and whenever they wanted, and I was doing whatever they wanted, and then this incident happened, unfortunately. They did this to me under the pretext of playing computer games.
Did you want to get away from that house?
Very much. Because, I can say that our houses were pretty close to each other. Whenever I pass by that place, I always think of that incident, even now. But now that I've pulled myself together, it doesn't really affect me that much. I don't get upset. I think it's not worth it for them.
How does a 9-year-old child get over such a thing?
Now, I found different hobbies for myself. For example, reading books, listening to music. Then, of course, I got over it by sharing it with a few friends after 8 years or so after the incident. When I was 9 years old, I even wanted to kill myself, but I couldn't do it.
Have you ever blamed yourself?
I don't think I am to blame. I think it happened only because of their lack of character. If they had character, they wouldn't have done this. Because I was a 9-year-old child, first of all. Secondly, let alone me being a child, it was also non-consensual. I mean, it was something that was not wanted by me. They literally stole my childhood. They took that period away from me.
What would you like to say to those people who blame the victim?
They have no brains. They are stupid. Because rape is something that is forced on somebody. So the victim did not do it willingly. They say things like she was wearing a miniskirt, or her hair was all messy, and stuff like that. In addition to these, even in criminal law, for example, there are abatements. I find them completely ridiculous. Rapists get reduced sentence because they ejaculated prematurely, or simply because they were well dressed at the court, or because she wasn't a virgin anyway. I am completely against these. I'm in fact in favor of severe punishments for rapists, but not execution.
Do you want them to be castrated?
I would want them to be castrated, because I think that the children of people with that kind of character, or people who lack character, are also capable of doing similar things. So, I really wouldn't want them to multiply in numbers.
Did you tell your family about this?
I wanted to tell them, but I couldn't because of two things. First, I was already threatened. They threatened to tell my family. Secondly, because my family is a bit closed-minded, they thought that Muniver Karabalut, who was found dead in a suitcase in Etiler in 2009, was too harsh against her murderer. So I decided not to open up that day.
Did this incident change your perspective on sex?
Of course, a 9-year-old child cannot have anything to do with sex. We all know this very well. At that time, of course, I experienced many traumatic things. But later, when I started to have an active sex life, I realized that there was not much harm. Of course, at that time, for example, I couldn't go near anyone except my father and my teacher. I can say that I couldn't go near any man because I was afraid.
What is your biggest fear now?
Right now, I greatly fear for my 3 nieces. I am afraid of something like this happening to them, and I try to protect them as much as I can.
How do you do that?
I always tell their family, their mom and dad, to not leave them alone. I try to put pressure on them to be with me all the time, because they live far from me. Because I can't be with them all the time, I talk to their parents, or I'm constantly calling my niece's babysitter. I call their school when they are in kindergarten. Things like that.
What kind of support would you like to have received?
At that time, I would have liked my family to be more open-minded and to treat me with love when I confessed to them. Or I would have liked to get psychological help. Because I realized that my family couldn't provide me with enough care and support.
Did you receive any treatment?
No, but I have been treated for another illness.
What kind of treatment?
I was treated for attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder.
Didn't you want to share this incident with your psychologist?
I wanted to recently, but then I had some setbacks and couldn't go. I'm thinking of opening up now. I'll see my psychologist again when I get the chance. But right now I think I am almost over the trauma, if not completely. So I may or may not go see a psychologist in the future. I'm not sure.
Did you have any health problems due to the rape?
At first I had bleeding in my anus. Then, of course, I tried to hide it from my family by throwing my underwear in the garbage, which I always do when I bleed. I kept throwing them in the trash to hide it.
What kind of questions about this subject make you feel bad?
Questions like, how did he do it? Did you enjoy it? Couldn't you do anything? Questions like that bother me a little bit.
Why?
Now, if I could have done something then, I would be in a much better place now. I'm already angry with myself about that. I wish I had shared it with someone, and that person could have at least gone to the police and reported it. Then I would have avoided further trauma. So I am a little angry with myself about that.